Okay, today we're continuing on this series on scaling your racket stringing business, the 9 proven strategies. So we've got a couple videos left in this series, but I hope that you're finding value in this and that it's been helpful. And again, leave a comment at the end and any questions that you might have. So far in this series, we've covered these top 6 things. We talked about upgrading your equipment one week. We talked about building partnerships, offering diverse services, marketing and online presence, expanding your customer base, hiring and training staff. And this is all in the context of racket stringing, right? So today we're going to continue on number 7 would be diversifying your revenue streams. Now you can see that our third one was offering diverse services. So this is a little bit, some of the things are, the actual components are similar, but it's just a different way of thinking of how can you diversify your revenue with that, with the services in mind, but yet maybe looking outside of just the services you're providing your customer. And so right. I think that's what we're going to kind of get into today. So hopefully you'll get value out of this. It's been a fun conversation up to this point. And Brad had a good point before we started this video about maybe framing that in a different way.
Yeah, just talking about just different businesses. For example, my daughter's gymnastics academy that she goes to used to pay per session, and they just switched their entire structure where you pay a monthly fee and you come as often as you want. It's like a car wash or a gym membership, as you had mentioned. You pay the same rate whether you use it or you don't use it. So it's they find that maybe it'll be a little bit easier for them. It'll be less overhead on the bookkeeping and all this, and trying to get makeups in for kids, and so it's just another way to think about your revenue stream.
Yeah, and especially if you're thinking of it like you're expanding and you're thinking about it in a larger picture. If you have 20 people, if you have 20 clients that are on this type of service, whatever the service is, and you're offering a monthly type program where it's just automatically withdrawn from their account or whatever, they don't really think about it. They just want the value as they need it, and so many won't use it. Many will overuse it, but it's maybe worth looking into and trying for a period of time to see how that balances out for you. And so kind of when we go over each of these different areas, kind of think about that a little bit. Like the first thing would be, of course, your core service expansion, stringing service, offering multiple tiers of stringing. You have like an economy, a standard, a premium, with different types of customization within that. You might have a racket maintenance package, basic tune-up. You've got frame inspection, you're putting grip replacement, minor grommet repairs, but then the advanced tune-up would be including balancing it again, replacing the bumper guards, and maybe other types of repairs. Sometimes when the bottom of the frame maybe cracks because of the bumper guard, because of the butt cap, or the butt cap's loose, you're doing maybe replacing that. So you have different levels of service, and then you might have something like an express service where you're always guaranteed to have same day or next day stringing, or even delivery, right, as part of that. So you charge a certain fee. It doesn't matter if they're going to use it twice or 5 times. So that's one of those things. So that's kind of the beginning of that. Another way to diversify your revenue stream, of course, is in your product sales. You could start stocking and selling a variety of different strings, and maybe expanding that a little bit from where you were, and think about how you could also turn that into some type of a service. Grips, dampeners, over grips, you might not be offering that now because you're maybe just part-time, or stringing from home, and you might just start by choosing one of those things and then adding some additional revenue. Partnering with other brands, maybe selling rackets, offering demo products. Some of the racket companies that are maybe coming up, or they want to have more representation out in the community. Maybe you can partner with them, and maybe you get a discount or some free product, and you're promoting their product as well. Another way to diversify is in some education and training. You could have workshops or different racket care clinics, about how to take care of your racket, because there's different grades of people, that have natural gut. There's a different way to care for that, and you can really just think about that in how you can support your current clients that way.
Yeah, have a webinar.
Yeah, the webinar, doing video tutorials on YouTube, getting some revenue from that, or just marketing your business that way. The fourth is membership or subscription service, and that's kind of what we started off with, talking a little bit about. You can think of like, how could you, what kind of streaming memberships would really be valuable to my clients? And maybe you have different sets of clients. You've got your college players, you've got your weekend, you got your weekend, once a week kind of players, or you have your juniors that are competitive and break a lot of strings. So you can have different tiered groups in that. Even offer something with grip and other types of services, or regular scheduling, where they don't even have to think about it. It's just an automatic, you send them an email. It's part of their subscription and so forth. The next thing would be customizing services. And I know we talked about this a little bit before, but you could offer different types of string patterns that maybe might be best suited for certain types of players. And one thing I think of specifically with this would be proportional stringing. We've talked about it before. I don't hear about it as much anymore, but some people really feel that proportional stringing creates a better feel all the way around, because basically what you're doing is you are adjusting the string tension based on the length of the actual string, and there's a formula for that, and it takes extra time, and so you charge extra money for something like that. But if you just get a few clients to start using that, and it kind of catches on, that could be a real good revenue stream. I don't know, Brad, I think we've talked about that before, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. Like you said, I don't hear about it as much, and I've tried it on my own rackets and stuff. I didn't really have any positive, I would say, or negative. It just, I think when you get to a certain level, you tend to break the same spot on your racket all the time. So it's not like you need a much bigger sweet spot, unless you're like maybe an intermediate or advanced beginner type player where you're kind of hitting all over the string bed. But most, advanced type players are hitting the same spot pretty close to it all the time and stuff. But it is a way to build the revenue. And there definitely have been some positive, positive feedback from high-end players who have done that. Now, we don't know. I don't know if they were, paid to endorse the product and speak highly of it, but it's worth looking into. Another thing too is if you string for players that play on heart true all the time, well, their rackets are constantly dirty. Every time they give them to you, there's clay and build, and so that could be part of a premium service where you wipe it down with some alcohol or clean the frame and stuff. When so there's ways to do that and build some extra revenue without, like, no one wants to feel like they're getting gouged and stuff. And I think that's why how the webinars can be helpful, because you do get a lot of people who are spending a lot of money on lessons, on good rackets, but they don't understand the stringing, and they don't understand like that the pros would look at you like you're crazy if you said, well, let's string this every 2 months. The pros would look like you're nuts. What? I need this restrung fresh every 2 hits. So some parents might not understand that, and they still might have a child who's not breaking strings every month. But if you talk to them about this premium service, hey, every month, part of this service, you get a free brand new string job, and it does make a difference. Strings go dead quickly. So there are things that you can think about that will help you to not only make your clients better educated, but also bring in more money and hopefully potentially help them become a better player.
Yeah, and I remember in the past as well, like if you make your just weekend player feel like a professional, they appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
you know, when you're offering like you were saying, you're offering to clean the frame, put a new fresh overgrip because you know what kind of overgrips that they like. You put a sticker on the racket if they want a sticker. You clean it up and make it look new, and they just appreciate that, even bagging it or whatever the case might be. You know, they appreciate, like, oh yeah, I feel like a pro, you know, I've got it just like the pros get it.
I have a new client who I bagged his rackets. He wanted fresh, natural gut. I bagged him up. He thought it was the coolest thing. He said, they've never done this at any of the other shops. This is great. Because he goes out there, he works hard, successful guy. He gets out there and he's kind of in his fantasy world, like where he
Mhm.
wants to feel like a pro. He gets out there, he's like,
Mhm.
playing, hitting, enjoying it. He's, maybe a 4-0 player.
Mhm.
To 4-5, and it made a big difference. And now I'm going to get 15 natural gut string jobs from him a year.
Yeah.
And not only that, he always gives me $20 more than I charge for the natural gut. He just throws in a tip every time. So just doing something small like that
Mhm.
with the bag, it's
Mhm.
again, it's the bags I get are they're about 20 cents a bag. They're earth friendly, they're biodegradable bags, but makes a difference.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought up the biodegradable, because I was going to mention at the end, because I know that that's kind of been an issue over time. A lot of states, you know, including where I'm at, you know, have kind of reduced the whole plastic, and of course we want to do the best that we can for the
Sure.
environment. So a lot of people do appreciate that, because they have stopped the regular plastic ones and gone with the biodegradable. And I'm glad that those are still, you know, pretty readily available. And you can even put your logo on, you know, if you buy enough large quantity from certain places, you can have a logo printed on it as well, and have your business, so everybody will see, oh, where'd you get that bag, you know.
And
So it's just a whole nother way to promote yourself.
what I did is I found a company that printed 1,000 stickers and I customized them. I think they're maybe 10 by 6 inches, and I created my logo and they printed them, and they're
Hmm.
maybe like 20 cents a sticker. And so I put that on the bag and give
Hmm.
it to them. So it has my logo on the bag, my
Hmm. Yeah.
USRSA rating, the type of
Hmm.
machine I use, and
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
probably a little more. That's probably a little more cost effective than having them printed on the
I think
actual
so.
bag. Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
But just
But it's
depending, sometimes you can get some good deals. Yeah, but those are all like totally ways that, you know, you can kind of think outside of the normal way of doing things. Good point there. All right, so let's see, to kind of continue on, customizing service. I think we covered most of those things, but like the string pattern, proportional stringing, and then racket customizing, the weight balancing, handle shaping, or other types of customizing. So I'm not necessarily talking about maybe customizing the paint job, although that is available these days, but more, you know, if somebody has a stencil, but they want to have maybe a custom stencil, their initials or some, you know, emoji or some kind of thing. You know, a lot of the younger, you know, a lot of kids and stuff, and kind of like that. So that's another way to maybe customize, and you can sell those. You know, maybe, you know, whether it's maybe the logo of the club. You know, if there's a club, you can offer to put that logo on there, and then, you know, it kind of also helps the club because you're promoting it wherever you're at, you know, when you're playing tennis and stuff. So, you know, just things like that. Think about ways to diversify your
yeah.
streams of income there. Online presence and digital products, you know, have an e-commerce store, or you can sell some stringing equipment, whether, you know, it's customizable things that you produce yourself, or maybe you're reselling things that you found a really good deal on somewhere, and it's just another way to do that. Maybe t-shirts, or offering, you know, hats or something like that. Maybe affiliate marketing, you know, maybe promote other people's products and get a commission off of that. Maybe an ebook or a guide, create like a, you know, racket stringing basic tips for newbies, or, you know, for maybe think about your clients specifically. What kind of questions do they really want to have answers to? What would be beneficial for my clients? And then you can create like little ebooks and either offer that to them for free or have a place where they can, buy it for a couple bucks, or have a monthly subscription where you're offering, different types of services.
Right.
All right, so on to number 7, event and club partnerships. Tournament partnerships, providing on-site stringing services for tournaments, club collaboration, partnering with tennis clubs to be their go-to stringer for members if they don't have anything in place like that. Those are just some basic thoughts. Other services. Racket recycling programs, offer to recycle or refurbish old rackets and then selling them at a discount or giving them away to different types of organizations that could benefit. So you're actually fixing them or kind of renewing them, or you find another way to tennis balls as well and stuff, and then you can recycle them to other types of programs and stuff. So you might be able to figure out a way to create some revenue around that. Mobile
Or tax
stringing.
savings, even tax savings. You string some old string you string them up, and then you've got $25, $30 that you can write off on your taxes at the end of the year.
Yep.
Donate them.
Exactly. Mobile stringing. I think we talked about that a little bit. There's different ways of doing that. Even online stringing. Have people send you rackets. Collaborating with other brands, sponsorship, collaborating with brands to feature their strings or rackets in exchange for discounts and promotional support. Affiliate sales, we talked about that a little bit already, but promoting and selling products like stringing machines, tools, with like some type of affiliate link. So that would be like an online service, of course. Upscaling to related businesses, sports equipment maintenance. So that would be now you're restringing maybe to badminton, squash, racquetball rackets, or even like if you're teaching, you're teaching tennis, right? And so that's another offering. Or what about maybe offering tennis court repair services, or like fixing the nets, making sure that the nets are the exact height that they need to be, because how that tends to sometimes some of those things kind of break, right? So you're kind of being that person that kind of maintains it a little bit. Maybe there's some money that you can add another stream of revenue, fixing the windscreens, or maybe it could be a marketing thing. You could provide banners. You could provide banners that could be displayed there, and then you could charge for that and things like that. So there's different ways that you could possibly find some.
You could even sell. They probably have companies that sell single sticks. Most of the people that I give lessons to, when I tell them that they're not playing on an official court, they say, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, this net is set up for doubles. All nets are set up for doubles. Public courts, all nets are set up for doubles." Well, they sell single sticks, and you may be able to put your logo on it. You may be able to sell them to your clients. They put them in their bag. I know if I go to a public court, sometimes the nets are 2.5 feet tall instead of 3 feet tall. Well, I put the single sticks up, and all of a sudden it raises the net up. And not only, it also gives me the singles court net. So
that is a good point. I didn't even really think about that, but yeah.
I keep a pair in my bag, because they have some now that are in 3 parts, and you just they collapse. You just fold them, and then they put them right in your bag. And even the courts where I live, some of the nets get a little bit low, and I put those on, and I talk to the kids about how the single sticks creates a little bit steeper angle for the down the lines. It raises them a couple more inches. And so we practice on single sticks, and it gives it a whole new appearance. At the US Open and other Grand Slams, they have 2 sets of holes in the courts. So they move the post over. But in all the other tournaments, the WTA, the ATP, you'll see that they actually have single sticks up there that raise it when they're playing singles, and they remove them when they're playing doubles. So another possible revenue stream.
Yeah, very, very good point. Yeah, because all those things are promotional things that you can put your logo or your brand or charge people to put their brand on, right? So
yeah, right.
Those are all great ways to scale, diversify. Let's see, what else did we do? This one already. Sports equipment maintenance, expand into restringing. Yeah, okay, we did that one. Okay, data and analytics, player data reports, track string preference and performance, provide players with detailed insights and recommendations. So this is not only for stringing, but think about for players that are competitive or that play tournaments or match play. They need somebody to maybe give them the stats of a match that they played in. Like, if you're at a club and, could be, I mean, even if it's a 4-0 match, or if it's, juniors, you could, maybe it could be juniors you're stringing for or teaching. You could also provide that match service where you're charting their match analytics, so that way you can show them at the end, hey, you had 10 faults, you double faults, you had this amount of winners, this amount of
Right.
unforced errors and stuff like that. And so you create that kind of a business as well. So there's that available. So there's lots of ways that you can kind of figure out new ways to create revenue streams, and other marketing, social media, monetization. Use your platforms, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Um, have racket stringing tips, product reviews, tutorials, kind of like what we're doing, right? But maybe you can
Right.
make it more specific towards your strengths. Community building, offering discounts or incentives for word of mouth referrals, through the clubs and other kind of a community type events. And that pretty much sums it up for the, diverse revenue streams. It kind of goes along with just diverse racket stringing services. But, when we were talking about it, it's kind of like you just got to think a little bit like, how do you monetize all of these kinds of things so that you can grow your business, even though maybe you're not expanding your clients as much, or maybe in your market right now, you kind of want to do both, right? You want to expand everything that you're offering for the current clients, and then you want to, of course, add on more clients as well. But there's two ways of doing this and thinking about it. And some of them kind of correlate together. Some of them are added onto that. Some are outside of the scope that maybe you work in right now. But all just kind of to get you thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some that we know that are taking their racket stringing business very, very serious, and they want it to be a full-time career. And so these are things that they need to think about. And even if you're a part-time stringer, some of these things, like for myself, for example, I'm kind of a part-time stringer, but I'm getting close to probably 800-900 that I'll do this year. And these are great reminders for me to keep my clients happy, to be more professional than my local competitors, and to offer better service and knowledge than they're able to. So
Yeah.
there's a lot you can gain here.
And so that was number 7 of our 9 proven strategies on how to scale your stringing business. So we've got 2 more to go. So our next one, we're going to dive in next week. So make sure you come back and subscribe and comment. And we will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Pat.